the important thing from this meeting, I think, was that Tsipras mentioned at last the Siemens scandal. I don't think if you know about this. There was a big scandal.
Go right ahead.
Some years ago about it's a big company, electronic company, Siemens. We all know Siemens.
Sure.
A German company who Siemens had been bribing politicians all over the world to get government contracts, and since the German government is trying to that's the funny part. That's what Tsipras tries to explain, is that the Germans are trying to say to play the moral card on us, on Greeks, and that Greeks are immoral in being debtors, but the Germans are the ones that are harboring a certain Mr. Christoforakos. He was the head of Siemens Greece, and he fled the country. He got on a flight to Berlin before he could be arrested, because he was the middleman in the bribes given to Greek politicians, and he knows who are the Greek politicians who took bribes. And he had never been questioned by Greek justice, because Germans are protecting him. And all of a sudden, we have a prime minister who goes in Berlin and says in a public interview, we need your help in the Siemens scandal. We need to know. You talk about corruption in Greece. Okay, give us this man so he can tell us who Siemens bribed, in effect. And the second thing is, he talked about these old issues of World War II, the mandatory loan, the German reparations. Germany never paid a single euro, a single mark towards the damage they did to Greece. And no Greek government has ever pushed this issue enough. But since we are being attacked on a moral basis, why not raise the issue or give them the opportunity to maybe cancel write off some of the debt by writing off this debt?
It sounds like it makes sense, doesn't it? Not a bad idea at all.
Give them the opportunity to sell a haircut to your voters, okay? Because you also have a debt towards Greece, and who'd never been repaid, and it's several hundred billions, maybe, if we talk about reparations. But just the mandatory loan, the mandatory occupation loan, taken by occupiers during the occupation of Greece, the German occupation in World War II, is several tenths of billions. So it's something, at least. And now,
certainly, Michael, you have to think about the German culture, right, and the almost theological approach to debts and such things, right? Remember, this is the country that invented Protestantism to some degree in 500 years ago with Luther. And the other thing is, the big influence, even worse than Luther in some ways, is of course Calvinism. And people forget that the royal house of Germany was the Hohenzollerns, and they were Calvinist, right? Not even Lutheran. That would be bad enough. So it's completely loaded with these overtones. And I think we also ought to remember that the beneficiary of the looting of Greece then and now was people like the Deutsche Bank, right? By people like Thyssen, Flick, Abs, Krupp, right? These infamous names of people who were like industrialists and financiers, but mainly thinking like financiers. And there it is, right? And Merkel is very much a creature of the Deutsche Bank. This guy, Josef Ackermann, that's the Svengali that put her into power.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that there are lots of misconceptions in the public mind in the US as well as in Europe. And maybe we could do this in another show, address those misconceptions.
The cultural part.
The cultural,
yeah.
Because, and the whole history of this crisis, because the average listener may not be able to follow our updates if we don't repeat some of the basics again and again, I think. And a simple fact that I can give right now, because our time is short, is that 96% of all loans given to Greece in the past 5 years, 96% of the loans were given to European banks. Were given back to repaying loans, other loans.
To the Greek branches of Deutsche Bank, Societe Generale, and Barclays and so forth, right?
And
those banks got. There we go. All right, Michael, hang in there now. Remember, conditions can change. Suppose we get, a general financial crisis would reshuffle the deck. So we'll look forward to it. See you next week.
See you next week.
By now, you heard about Bitcoins, but did you know that over 65,000 businesses accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know bidbit.co, because at bidbit.co, you can receive Bitcoin by selling your personal items or business products. You heard right, whether personal or business. You can now buy, sell, and auction your products quickly, easily, and securely at bidbit.co. That's bidbit.co, bidbit.co.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
There's a better place to get your podcast. GCNlive.com. Hundreds of thousands of hours archived for your listening pleasure. All free at GCNlive.com.
Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. This is Webster Tarpley speaking from Washington, D.C. Now, this is a great occasion. We're absolutely delighted with the guest who's now coming up. We want you to support the efforts of the guy we're going to be talking to. As you may know, there's going to be a general election in the United Kingdom. It's going to be held on the 7th of May, 2015. It's going to be the 56th Parliament, right? We're talking about the mother of parliaments in Westminster, a model in some ways for the entire world. And now the man you're going to hear from is going to make it more so. So we are absolutely honored to introduce Stuart Hooper, actually Stuart J. Hooper, and he is a graduate student at the City University of London, England, United Kingdom. He is studying for a master's degree in international politics, and he is quite an authority in that. So he is now going to be standing for office in the election, which is now coming up, and he's going to be looking to you for support of all kinds. And it's absolutely goes without saying that the ability of people who share some of the ideas that you've been hearing about on this program and from the various organizations that support these ideas in the U.S., this is going to be a big turning point. So welcome to Stuart J. Hooper, speaking to us from London, I guess?
From Essex, Webster.
Essex.
Great to be here. Yes.
And tell us, you got to tell everybody, where's Essex? It's a little bit, what, east
Essex
of London?
Yes, just above
The
London.
east, I guess, as the Essex, it means east. There we go. So tell us everything.
Yes, so I am looking to look for an emergency ballot fundraiser right now. So I need to raise £500 basically in under 2 weeks to be able to even get on the ballot in the first place. So this is a fundraising attempt for that. So in order to help out, you need to go to facebook.com and you can search for Stuart Hooper for Parliament, and you will find a Facebook group which you can join. Or you can just search for facebook.com/Hooper for MP. That's HOOPERFORMP. And there you'll be able to support me, and hopefully we can raise that £500 in under those 2 weeks. So the constituency that I'm going to be trying to get on the ballot for is called South Basildon and East Thurrock. That is in the south of Essex, and it is 1 hour from central London. The current incumbent is a Conservative, so the Conservatives are currently in a coalition government with the Lib Dems. He is known to be one of only a handful of Conservatives that have never actually rebelled and voted against the party line. So that's kind of interesting. We have somebody who is definitely 100% in the system, so to speak. And
sounds like an apparatchik, a Tory apparatchik.
Yes. And in the constituency next door, not the one I will be running in, but an interesting note, the incumbent is a lady called Jackie Doyle-Price. She's also of the Conservative Party, and she was outraged when Parliament refused to go to war in Syria. So you can see the kind of people that I'm surrounded with in the political scene.
Now, Stuart, I just have to ask you, can you go back and say again with tremendous effort to make it clearer to us foreigners, the name of this location, South
Basildon, so
Basildon, like Basil Rathbone, but Basildon.
Yes, Basildon, and
Okay.
East Thurrock.
Thurrock.
Yes, THURROCK.
Now, I'm very sorry right now, Stuart. We're going to have to ask you to wait for a minute. We're just getting an incoming call from Reverend Pinckney, and you know the conditions that we function under, right? So he's got 10 minutes, and the clock is already ticking. So could I ask you to just wait, and we'll get back to you as soon as we finished with him?
Yeah, that's fine.
And we'll stitch the interview again together again, so you can use it as needed.
Yeah,
Okay, let's go to Reverend Pinckney then. Thank you.
Webster. I'm here.
How you doing, Reverend?
I'm doing great, Webster. I tell you, I'm just so excited just to think about all the